So it's June 2017, and a year prior, in 2016, my friend Juliet had turned her early 20th century house in downtown Orlando into an art gallery. So the third Friday of every month, all the furniture's taken out, and the only thing in the house is the curated art. And it's everything from performance to immersive theater, to visual art, to sculpture. In 2017, I was asked to be one of the 10 artists in the retrospective, because in 2016, I was one of the first artists to perform poetry there. And I thought, this is great. I show up that Friday, it's 6 p.m. My friend, fellow artist, performance artist, visual artist, Masami Kashikawa, meets me and says, "Logan, I don't want you to perform the second time. I want you to perform on top of my performance the second time." Now, the first time I ever performed at Guavatree, I was in one corner of the gallery while Masami was performing performance art in a piece called The Antisocial Butterfly in the opposite end, where two walls were surrounding her. They were made of rice paper and bamboo, and to see any of this, you had to tear a little hole, and you were suddenly closer to her because you were the voyeur looking inside. On this day, I performed inside the gallery. Then it's now 7:45. Masami wanted me to perform at 8:30 on top of her performance. Keep in mind, this is June 2017, and it's the year anniversary of Pulse. I don't know what she's going to perform. The music just begins as I'm talking to a photographer. It's a bass drum, a pan flute. Masami comes out in a white kimono, white face makeup, and the kuroku, which is the Japanese stagehand in all black. Think a ninja. And she wants me to recite my own poetry on top of what is now 50 people gathered in a kind of vigil. Now, I'm a poet, a performance artist, and a traditional performer, as well as an improviser. In improv, this would work. I have this nice blanket of if I mess up, it's still funny. I can't be funny in this at all. This is serious. But through the net that she gets behind as she weeps, she looks at me and coos. And I know from improv that that's the invitation. But the only way into this is to coo back. So we slowly have a zoomorphic conversation of cooing in front of an audience while 49 tissues are picked one by one off the net as the kuroku with a foot-long candle lights them on fire, and in fireballs they fall to the ground. I quickly find poetry that can go on top of this. And for me, that moment was not just rehearsed art, it was improvised art, art being improvised all in the moment. And as the last tissue fell in a fireball, the curator, my friend Juliet, gave me a hug as though her hug were made of brake pads, and finally stopped or slowed my heart down. And that was the challenge, the epiphany, the experience that made my day.